1906, a man by the name of William Keith Kellogg formed the Battle Creek Toasted Cornflake Company. Its original purpose was to create a nutritious, healthy breakfast cereal that would only actually be served to patients at the Battle Creek Sanatorium, people who were suffering with mental illness. But prior to this, in 1876, whilst experimenting with ways to cook and crush wheat to make it more tasty whilst maintaining its goodness, William Kellogg ran a batch of wheat that had been sat out for a number of days through some rollers. And what came out the other side was the cornflake that we now know and love today. And so, after having tested the product on the patients at the sanatorium, they realized that they had created a breakfast cereal that was healthy, nutritious, and tasty. And so, on this day in 1906, the company was formed. Now, good food is important, especially the kind that helps us be well and healthy. But have you ever thought about the fact that just as we feed food into our bodies, we also feed food into our minds and into our hearts, into our very soul? And just as with food, if you eat something that is bad, then it will make you feel quite unwell. It's the same for our hearts and our minds and our souls. If we're allowing bad stuff in, if we're feeding on that, well, then it could have quite negative effects. There was an occasion in the Bible where the disciples of Jesus came and asked him if what you eat can actually defile you and affect the kind of person you are. And he replied this. He said that it's not what goes into your mouth that defiles you. You are defiled by the words that come out of your mouth. And a bit later they asked him to explain what he meant. And he said that anything you eat passes through the stomach and then goes into the sewer. Nice. But the words that you speak come from your heart, and that is what defiles you. You see, just as when we eat something that is not good for us, it will eventually come out one way or another, it's the same for the bad stuff that we allow to be fed into our hearts and our minds and our souls. It will eventually come out in our words and in our actions. So today, as you tuck into your breakfast or your lunch or your dinner, whatever time you're watching this, have a think about the things that you are feeding into your heart and into your mind. Are they good for you? Or are they going to have negative effects? The good news is that it is never too late to change your diet.